So I thought it'd be great to sort of like contact Max and do a little teaser for the forthcoming thing. And I have a few questions, some very short questions for Max that'll hopefully help you, the audience, sort of follow up. So first off, Max, who are you?
Well, thank you for having me, Professor. I am Max Grinnell. I write about the urban condition, everything from transformation of public housing to how we experience the cities as individuals and issues of public space transformation. I author 4 different books. I teach part of the year in Boston at the Massachusetts College of Art and Design, and part of the year here back in Chicago, where I am right now talking to you, at the University of Chicago and Columbia College. So that is who I am in a nutshell.
Right. So my second question, and it follows up, is that along those lines of what motivates you?
I've always been curious about the built environment and how we structure our kind of personal and group experiences in the United States. And some of that's cut through with issues of ethnicity, class, gender. How do those different people navigate changing cities throughout decades and centuries? I'd say one of my formative moments was when at age 18 I came to the University of Chicago and experienced Hyde Park, which is a bastion of fairly robust racially integrated community within a deeply segregated American city, and that it made me joyous and also terribly sad. And this is kind of part of what those, as a young adult, kind of what got me. Is a gateway urban moment, if you will.
Okay. When you think about where is your focus, what's the answer to that question?
My focus is predominantly in American cities. I've taught courses on other parts of the world, but I always come back to how can we transform the cities around us to work well for the largest number of people. Whether it's thinking about public space projects, which I do with my students in Boston and Chicago, or thinking about kind of how can we enhance the conversation and get people excited and interested in how these type of spaces work. Because it's not a subject I think that people are introduced to in the same way math, science, kindergarten, and beyond. People have to kind of be brought to it. Even though we're around it all the time, we're upset we're stuck in traffic. We wonder why there's a higher concentration of one ethnicity in another place. So kind of starting that conversation, I think, is really exciting.
Okay. I think another thing is my old advisor would always say, so what, to me, we have those conversations. So that always prompts me to ask people, why should we care about the things that you care about?
That is a great question. And I ask my students that too all the time. I think the reason we should care about some of these things is because we are, as informed citizens, we often think of this discussion about politics or government, but also to think about the world around us in a close and kind of way to interrogate some of these things around us is very exciting. We are all so, whether we're listening to we have our headphones on, we're looking at our phones, and I'm guilty of this all the time on social media a lot, kind of the ways that we can start these conversations about why these places look the way they do, and also even broader conversations about transforming cities to, be more energetic, lively places, kind of conversations that dovetail with public health, identity, community politics, etc. And I think getting young people excited about that, and people who come to my talks and lectures, is part of what I do. And I am a ambassador for cities. I've always lived in large cities. I will never leave large cities unless I'm getting paid to do something. And I'm an explorer. I think just generally curious. So I think that helps. Curiosity is I don't know, something that's always motivated me, and I think other people that are interested in cities have some of the shared affinities.
Okay. My last question is always a good way to, in case people are really curious, how can people engage with you? How can they follow up?
I can be found if you want to drop an extended Meditation at maxgrinnell@gmail.com. It's also the first thing that comes up when we type it into Google is my website. At The Urbanologist is where I tweet quite frequently. I don't use Facebook, so Twitter and email are the best ways to find me. And there's also information about my upcoming talks on my website. The coming months, I'll be in Philadelphia, Chicago, a couple times, and other venues to talk about my work, especially how public art can transform cities. So that's basically how you can get in touch with me.
Cool. And of course, you can get in touch with Max online next Tuesday when Rethinking the City